So before you watch this video, I need you to go down to the comment section and give me your thoughts, give me your opinions, just quick ones on Kawhi Leonard. The situation with him being on the Clippers, the injuries, all that stuff. What is your mindset on it? Because I just want to give you guys my thoughts, and I'm curious if what I say changes your mind whatsoever. If you want to let me know if I did change your mind, let me know that at the end of the video in the comment section below. Okay, so right now, everybody's really angry. Everybody's angry at Kawhi because it's been reported, after losing 4-1 to the Phoenix Suns in round 1 of the playoffs, which pretty much... Okay, I can't lose focus here, okay? Let's talk about what people are angry at first here, man, okay? People are angry because Kawhi Leonard has a torn meniscus, and he played 2 games out of the 5 games in which he averaged, he was balling out, man. Looking at Basketball Reference, in the 2 games he did play in, 35 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Absolutely elite numbers. Which I think it's important, once again, that we have to recognize, don't be angry at Kawhi Leonard. Be angry at the unfortunate circumstance. Stephen A. Smith went on the record to say that Kawhi should be forced to retire. Who are you, Stephen A. Smith, to tell somebody that they should retire? That is so disrespectful, especially when it comes to a physical injury. Okay, I understand. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Like, it seems like the 3 things we can really rely on every single year, no matter what: death, taxes, and Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers having injury issues. It's frustrating. But I'm going to tell you this much. Kawhi Leonard is not purposely tearing his meniscus. He's not purposely tearing his ACL, okay? So, JJ Redick kind of spoke on this. And he said back when he played for the Philadelphia 76ers, it was the offseason or something along those lines, and he went to a training facility in which Kawhi Leonard was there, and this man was absolutely working so hard to get back. I've heard so many stories before of NBA players that have these horrible injuries, and all we see is a little tweet from Woj saying, so-and-so tore his meniscus, and that's about as far as the empathy stretches out to. We don't see what these players are doing off the court every single night, every single day, to get their bodies ready to go. I've never really had a major injury before. If you've torn your ACL, if you've done any injury like that, let me know in the comment section below. But I gotta imagine, man, I look at Derrick Rose. Even Derrick Rose's ability to still play basketball shows a mental toughness that we can't really relate to. Imagine literally your legs snap, crackle, pop, and Rice Krispie, baby, every single day, and then getting back on and having to play basketball. Like just the mental aspect of just like jumping up and knowing if you land in a weird way, you might screw up how you walk forever. So, not to mention, I feel like NBA players are being asked for a lot more responsibility these days as opposed to back in the day. Yes, you can agree, you can say that the game of basketball isn't as physical in a sense. And I would say from a fouling standpoint, while there's a lot of free throws and whatnot, from a physical standpoint, it might not be like, you're not going to have people throwing as many elbows or throwing punches or kind of getting up in your space as much as, with hand check ruling and everything like that, like back in the day. But I do know that NBA players, they're asked to do a lot more physically as far as running up and down the court, the amount of back-to-backs. Just everyone in the NBA is a lot more of a greater athlete than 20 years ago. That's just fact of the matter. The superstars today are playing against greater athletic talent, which says a lot. That takes a lot of wear and tear in the body. Now, I will say, when you do have injury issues like this, when you are somebody like Kawhi Leonard that historically goes through this every single season, I think the frustration part does have to come with the contract. Now, for one, like seeing a superstar go through everything as far as the workouts, the rehabilitation to get back on the court, yeah, that's probably worth some money, man, because that's a lot. That's a lot of somebody. That's a lot that a human has to take on. Let's not say basketball player. Let's say human. But when you can only play, 40, 50 games, when you're going to miss the occasional season with a bad injury, and you trade away all this talent. This was more so in the Paul George trade, I believe, to get Paul George on the team, which he has his own injury history too. Paying, max contract money, super max contract money for only a part-time player, I think that's kind of where the issue comes at. And I think that's the part where it's okay to be frustrated at. But that's not Kawhi Leonard's fault, right? Any one of us in Kawhi's situation, if we're offered up that max contract despite having that history with our bodies, like, that's not Kawhi's job to say, oh, well, I'm not going to play for that, Like, he's going to take that money every single time. Every single one of us would. It's management's job. It's the medical staff's job to scope out these situations, simply map out, look at the history. I'm looking at the game history right now for Kawhi Leonard, man. Like, you can look at all that. That is our greatest asset to predict the future, is looking at the history. And it's easy to say, man, this guy hasn't played an 82-game season ever. This man at the age of 20 played 64 games. 21 played 58 games, 66, 64. And then when he was 26, 9 games, 60, 57, 52, 52 this season. Missed the season. It's dwindling down. He's 31. That's not going to get better with age. It's the medical staff job. It's the president of basketball operations job to notice this and not bring guys like that to a team that you're trying to build a contender around. Can Kawhi Leonard win you a ring? Yes. Just like Dogecoin could make you rich. That one time. That one time, man. Now, could Doge make you rich again in the future? Possibly. Not a financial advisor, by the way. I feel like you always got to say that whenever you say something financially, man. Can Kawhi win you another championship ring? Yes, potentially. Looking at the history, is that probably going to happen again? Not if he's your best player. Not if he's your best player, man. So I look at some circumstances, and I will say, like, the Clippers have done a really good job over the past few years, I think, of building a pretty deep team. I liked them when they had, like, Luke Kennard and those guys on it too, man. But, they made some trades and everything. Brown and Russell Westbrook, who played great, by the way. But even having, like, Terrence Mann, Norman Powell, players along those lines, it's like they've done a good job of still having a good team to compete as far as winning basketball games when Kawhi or Paul George or both are out. But Tyronn Lue said it best. Lose your two best players. Are you going to win a series? No, you're not. No, you're not, man. And, regular season, a lot of players take the regular season off. So, come playoff time, the reason Kawhi load manages in the regular season, is to be ready for the playoffs. So, that not happening because of an injury history, I mean, Kawhi is not injuring himself, but it is still facts of the matter. This is a guy that you can't rely on even in the postseason anymore, man. Especially when it gets tougher in the postseason as far as, like, just games being closer and more competitive and everything along those lines. So, I don't know. I'm not upset that people are upset about Kawhi Leonard's injuries. I'm upset that people are upset at Kawhi Leonard because I don't think he's doing this to himself. I don't think Kawhi's done anything wrong. I think he's a victim of unfortunate circumstance, like Derrick Rose, Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill, Greg Oden. Dare we need to go on even more, man. It happens. It happens. It sucks. It's a part of sports. There's always a few players from every generation that go through things like this. Where you get them, it's great. But you can't count on them, man. And that's not Kawhi Leonard's fault. Because you can count him as a basketball player. You can't count him for having a healthy body. So I don't know what the Clippers do. I don't think they make a trade. I don't know if they go into a full-on rebuild. They did a lot to put this team together. It was risky from the start. It's going to be even more risky next season with these players all being older. But we'll kind of see, man. So give me your thoughts about this in the comment section below. I had to rant. Just, empathy is a big thing for me these days, man. Just, you have to understand people beyond just their profession. Kawhi is more than a basketball player. He's a human. He's going through some very difficult stuff with these injuries. A mental and physical toll that most of us cannot relate to. That's all I got for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.